journal writing. Your journal writing will resemble automatic writing. In doing this over time, you will begin to recognize the patterns in our transmissions. That's your spirit guides talking to you. After a couple of weeks, or just 1 month, you will be able to look back into your journal and see things you wrote that you now see wouldn't have been something you would say or would have even known. In fact, you don't remember writing it at all. This is when you will know it came from us, your spirit guides, because you were out of the way. This process will change your life and help you avoid the struggle and stress you used to experience in your daily routine before our 15-minute meetings. Remember those 15-minute meetings they talked about in earlier sessions we had with you on Tuesdays? They talked about writing in your journal for 15 minutes a day. Take that 15 minutes out of your day to have that meeting, spirit guides. A lot of people use Ask the Universal Channel to do it. And Ray and I use Ask the Universal Channel to get information about our business, what we're doing, what we're not thinking about, what they see that we cannot. Okay, we call it board meetings.
Yes.
With our spirit guides and angels.
We have one of those about every day.
We do. And we consult with them, we interface with them, we check things out with them, just to make sure, to see if we're missing something. Many times they present us with things that we can't see. We're so involved in it, we're so connected, we're so, one with the situation, we're blinded by what we're going through. And your spirit guides, they see things objectively. They see what you're doing and they see what your intention is, and then they present you with solutions. They don't give you opinions like people would if you ask your friends or family. They give you solutions. They get right to the point. And that's what's so nice about working with them. They see it for what it is. They see what is, all right? And they're always present. They're always in the now. That's just so clean. It's the way that you learn to become as you build this bridge, this communication bridge, this relationship with your spirit guides. And that's where the guidance, when guidance shows up in your journal writing, that's where your spirit guides, you'll see where over time, and not too long, it won't take too long, a couple weeks, maybe a month, to see where they start to infiltrate your writing. You'll look back at what you wrote and go, oh, I don't remember writing that, or I would never say something in that way. I know that didn't come from me. That came through me, okay? So anyway, Ray, you mentioned something about when, just before you and I met.
Yeah.
You mentioned, just before we started tonight, you mentioned something about when you started journaling. It's interesting that you didn't journal all your life, but you started journaling at this particular time. What, a couple months before we met, right?
Well, that's the books I found. I found some of my journals from that time period, a couple months before we met. In fact, I think I found the one I was writing in the day I met you.
I know.
Sitting in the coffee shop.
He read it to me. I remember this.
I never really called them journals. I didn't consider them journals.
Right.
What I would do is I would read a book, or I would listen to an audio.
You were seeking.
I would read a book.
He was at a seeking point in his life.
Right. Or listen to an audio recording. And as I was listening to it, I would highlight the book, and then I would write down the major notes. But especially with the audio recordings, somebody giving a speech or on a certain topic, I'd stop it and make the notes, so I could go back rather than have to listen to the whole thing again. I just go through my notes. And I did that for a long time, even since I was probably a teenager or in my 20s. But I never considered it journaling.
But it is.
It was kind of more writing down what they said.
You thought, okay.
But when I looked back, when I dug out those journals that, my notebooks, that right before we met, I looked back and I realized a couple of things. I don't talk like that.
The way you wrote in the journal?
The words in the journal.
Right.
I don't talk like that.
Right.
And I don't remember writing that. And it was prophetic.
Right. So what was prophetic about it?
It was, mostly about relationships, because I was not in a good relationship. So I read things and listened to things about relationships, and made some notes, things like that. Like, my next relationship would be like this. This is what I wanted my next relationship to be. And then you showed up.
And what did you write about what you wanted in your next relationship?
I don't remember word for word, but I'm going to go dig them out, and and I remember that it was prophetic. It was shockingly prophetic.
Yeah. It actually occurred in his life without him going out and looking for it. Okay. He was writing about it. He was writing it out innocently. Okay. That's what it feels like, you guys. It feels innocent. It feels like it's just freelancing. It's just you being you without anybody's judgment on you or worrying about what anybody's going to think or say about you. All right. No, this is for nobody to look at except for you. This guidance that shows up in your journal writing. We had in fact, this Saturday, we're going to be live in a Storm Wisdom in Phoenix, Arizona from 1 to 3 p.m. And we're going to be talking about, this is going to come up. It can't help but come up because it's just the way it works. Experiencing the proven spirit guide communication system. And in this system, what you're going to bump into, I mean, it really does feel like it almost happened by accident. Like, I didn't see that coming. I didn't expect that. That's what happens when you do this journal writing. It just shows up on the pages. And you just go, wow, I never would have, like Ray said, I never would have written something like that. I would have never spoken like that. It's not something that I would have worded it that way, okay? Although he was feeling those things, he was, because of his connection he had, whether he realized it or not, all right? It was able to come through. And at that point in your life, Ray, you were very disappointed in your marriage. Disappointed,
yeah, that's kind of like the toughest emotion I think I wrestle with.
Everybody does. Disappointment's the number one thing. So when you bring your journal out and you start writing in your journal, this disappointment, you're perplexed about something. You're reaching, you're searching. Okay, like Ray was doing. He was at a point in his life where he was really hurt and serious about understanding what happened. What happened? What is this? And starting to read books and those books were nothing but triggers to purge out of you what was going on all along until you took the moment, until you took that time to start. This is the journal that we have, My Guided Journey and My Journal Writing. We've got two of these. One takes you back to find out why you keep repeating these I can't call them mistakes. They're not mistakes, you guys. They're what we came here to learn, clear up so we can live the life we intended. We have to figure out what happened in the fog so we can begin to see through it and get on with our lives. All right? That's why this is important. My journal writing takes you back to your early life in part 2. But in part 3, there's only 20 pages of part 3 in My Guided Journey. Part 3 all by itself is called My Journal Writing. And that's where you learn to just write about where you are right now. What's going on with you? When Ray started writing before we met about relationships, because his was failing, all right, almost a 20-year marriage that was really outdated about 15 years, about 5 years into it, maybe even
sooner. It passed its shelf life.
It was terrible. And the worst part is we stay stuck in a past that we don't know how to move through and get out of, because we don't know what to do. We don't know how to find our answers. We're disconnected, we're perplexed, we're confused, we're scared, and we're heartbroken. And it keeps you from finding the answer as long as you stay in that quandary. All right.
I wasn't looking for answers as much as I was looking for explanations, because I wasn't looking for a relationship.
Well, answers and explanations. What's the difference?
Yeah.
You see?
Well, an explanation of why.
Why?
Why is this going on?
Why did this happen?
You know, how could I pick better maybe next time? Yeah.
What was your part in it?
What was my part in the relationship? You know.
Where did you fail in it? What did you miss?
Yeah.
Okay, that type of thing. All of a sudden, the things that we did in the relationship that seemed to be maybe needing to be right was more important than the love.
Right.
Okay. And when that happens, the relationship is really over. All right. When needing to be right is more important than the love in that relationship, it's over. And your journal writing will show you that. When you do this journal writing and guidance shows up in your journal writing, one thing that you have to be ready for and okay with is the truth. The truth. Okay? Because your guidance will always show you the truth. They know you can handle the truth. You've been hurt enough where you're ready for that. Okay? Who do we have with us, Ray?
Stacy is with us.
Stacy, it's a quiet night.
Must be Dancing with the Stars night or something.
It must
on TV,
be. This has got to be the most quiet night we've had. Stacy, if you have any questions about when guidance shows up in your journal writing, and by the way, this weekend in our live event on Saturday, you can join us over the internet via live streaming and just sign up for it. It's you go to lindadeir.com and look for live events up in the navigation menu.
Follow the links.
It'll take you right there, and you can then sign up for the
live stream
and enjoy what we are doing live, and also watch it on demand for 30 days after it's over.
Right.
So if you miss it the moment it happens, then you can replay it. All right.
Up to 30 days after it's over, but you have to sign up before it starts, or you can't ever see the replay.
We had a lot of people try to get in after it started, and they couldn't get in. So
right. They said,
from last month.
Right. If I missed it, oh well, I'll just sign up for the replay, and they found out they couldn't do that. So anyway, all right. Axel Dax is here with her son.
Dax, okay.
Stacy and Dax.
Dax is great.
All right. So
Dax.
I want to. We should make a little comment about the exciting news about my guided journey and my journal writing. There was countries it wasn't available.
Oh man, we've had New Zealand, Australia,
and some other countries.
There's some other countries wanting to get the journal, and Amazon doesn't print it. It's just a paperback because you write in it. It's a journal, and they couldn't get it because they couldn't get it from Amazon in those countries. So
right, or they could get it from another country and pay a phenomenal amount of shipping charges,
like ridiculous, 3 times as much.
Yeah, the book ended up being like $30.
So what did we do?
We put it up, downloadable right from your website,
right,
anywhere in the world.
So when you go to the website lindadeir.com and you click on shop and you go down to books and MP3s, you'll see the downloads for my journal writing and my guided journey. Okay, and you can get it for $9.95 off the website. You order it, and you immediately download it and print the pages you want.
Or just read it off your computer.
It's the exact same
layout
copy as what's on Amazon, word for word. So you're not missing anything, okay? It's not a diluted version of it. So anyway, you can get it that way from anywhere in the world, all right? So we just did that because people were getting frustrated with not being able to get it or it costing so much money, all right? Okay, so when guidance shows up in your journal writing, you guys, talk to me about that.
Stacy, I'm sure you're using the journal or in some way, shape, or form. where has some of your journal writing shown up in your life later on?
And some of the pointers that come up about what will trigger you when you get the journals, okay? When you get these journals. This is my journal writing. This is book number 3, part 3 of that system. And what it'll ask you things like, where you got this guidance. Did it come from a dream? Did it come from when you were walking somewhere, driving somewhere, in the shower, washing your hands, or a song you heard that you haven't heard in a really long time? It happened to come up at just the right time in your life where you go, oh my God, that song is singing my song right now. Or from a person that comes up that maybe you'll never meet again. We call them agents for the divine that come in and just say something to you to trigger you, to get your attention, and then move on. You never see them again.
Yeah, you're standing in line at the coffee shop and somebody's behind you in line waiting, and they say something, and then you turn around and you start thinking about, how is it? You turn around and talk to them, they're gone.
And they're gone. It's
fascinating. Yeah, a messenger sent in for
that one
thing.
And they don't even realize it many times that they were that messenger, okay? So it's how the universe works. Or daydreaming. Daydreaming would also include self-talk. You'll be walking along and all of a sudden you'll start saying something to yourself, and you'll go, I hope nobody saw me do that. Someone catch you doing it, right? Like when you were a little kid and they'd ask you, who are you talking to? All right, something like that. That's also guidance coming through. Every bit of this is guidance.
You know what's interesting about talking to yourself? You're talking to yourself, when somebody catches you doing that.
Yeah.
And who are you talking to? Well, it doesn't really matter who you're talking to, but the fact that you're talking to somebody else.
Someone's there.
Means that there's somebody else besides you.
You may not understand it. Is it guidance? Is it whatever it is? Is it from a different planet? Where is it somewhere out in the universe trying to reach me, trying to, tap in so that they can finally get through to me, because I'm one of them. I mean, you don't know. You guys, the possibilities are unlimited. I've had it all happen to me, and I talk about it in Guided. I mean, it's unlimited. It's as limited as your ability
to catch it,
to hack it.
Right. So the things that are really, really important are the things that you find are unusual or out of the ordinary.
That's right.
Little tiny things that you blew off.
Yeah.
Something happens. Oh, well, that was weird. Oh, yeah, that was really out of the ordinary. And you just blew it off, and you didn't write it down. And then it happens again.
You know when that happens? Ray makes a great point here. And when that happens, it's when you're driving your car and you have that one-liner slip in. You're busy driving. You don't have time to stop and write it down. And you have that didn't come from you. You know that didn't come from you. That came from somewhere else, all right? I always call it came through you, because that's what really happened. So what do you do when you're driving your car or you're in the shower and you have that guidance, that insight, that brilliance come through? Didn't come from you. Or how do you harness that so it doesn't slip through and you miss it again? Here's what you do. Just like Beetlejuice. Some of these movies are brilliant, the way that they teach you things, but you don't always catch it. Beetlejuice was, how did Beetlejuice materialize each time?
He said his name 3 times in a row.
That's right. So what is really the secret in that? There's a major secret in that actually works, okay? It's magical. Whatever came through, you say, whatever the key words were, say it 3 times out loud, just like they did in that movie, Beetlejuice. Say it out loud 3 times. 3 times. And then when you get out of the shower or you stop the car, you can remember what it was, or the dream you just woke up with, that you don't have a pad and paper next to the bed to jot down what it was, or a recorder. Say it out loud 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And you know what? When you get out of bed, when you stop the car, when you get out of the shower, wherever you are, whatever happened, because it's very subtle. This guidance doesn't scream at you. This world screams at you. Guidance never screams at you. It's consistent. It's like a radio playing in the background, while all the noise and distractions are consuming your life. If you just slow all that down, cool it down out there, so you can begin to hear the radio playing in the background, that's subtly playing all the time. That's the guidance. That's how you reach the guidance. What do we have, Ray?
Okay, the crowd has doubled.
There we are.
Mary Jan has shown up.
Mary Jan.
Hi, Mary.
Oh.
And Stacy has a comment.
Okay.
Not
good.
necessarily a question, but she writes in a journal. She doesn't have this journal. She just writes in a journal. They recently showed me. Oh, okay. Since accessing my guides is so new to me, I have trouble determining what is actually their guidance, and what
That's
comes from her.
That's a common problem.
Right, it is. That's a very common. And then she says, they recently showed me 2 things related to future events that have since occurred, but I didn't know what it meant or how to apply it
at the time.
To the events, right. Okay.
At the time.
I still don't know how to apply what I'm shown.
Right.
I feel very discouraged about it. Well,
you're early on. This is normal. This is normal. This is the way it usually happens. You'll see the guidance come through. You'll write it down. Then you'll see the occurrence in your day-to-day life. You'll see it show up, and you go, "Well, I missed the opportunity."
Or I remember writing that down.
I wasn't able to take advantage of the opportunity when I wrote it down because I didn't know what to do with it. I'm new at this. I'm not used to this. That is normal. In the beginning, that is not normal for the long run.
Right.
Okay. When you were a little child, Stacy, you got this guidance coming through, and your son got this guidance coming through, and you didn't take any time at all to receive the guidance and then act on it.
Right.
It was one and the same. It's called experimenting with everything. As you get older, you get more reluctant to experiment. You start doubting yourself. You start second-guessing yourself. You start thinking, well, I don't have time to do that, or that doesn't make any sense. You start reasoning your way away from it, okay?
Well, people have told you can't do that.
That's not...
Well, I want to do that,
Right.
You tell kids they can't do something, that's what they want to do.
No, they're going to do it anyway.
Right.
A kid will go out and they'll look at you like you're not getting it, and the person who said that to the kid doesn't get it.
They're telling you to stop learning because you just said when
Right.
you come here as a new person, we don't like to call them babies, we call them new people. They learn through experimenting with things.
In fact, throughout our lives, that's how we learn, you guys.
And through those experiments, they have experiences. Good ones, bad ones. First time they touch something hot or the radiator or something, they burn their hand, that's a bad experience. First time they have ice cream, that's a good experience, okay?
Yeah.
So you're here to have experiences. So when adults and others, or as you get older, you're afraid what people are going to think about you or say about you or how they're going to judge you, they are telling you not to experience things.
They're sharing their limitations with you.
Right. They want you to stop learning.
If you buy in to their limitations, then you will definitely be frustrated with your life.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because you've allowed them to influence you and limit you.
Yeah.
That's why writing it down is the first step. Writing these experiences, what's going on with you, writing them down, okay? And keeping this journal going. You guys, this book is really important to get. This will really get you there in a detailed way where you will stop questioning the guidance coming through, where you will be able to perform on it. See, there's one thing about getting the guidance. There's another thing about performing on it, okay? It might even scare you to perform on it once in a while, all right? Get over your fear, okay? You can recognize that, look at this fear that's about to ruin my life, limit me. And if I share it with any friends or anybody, they will for sure try to limit me because they're terrified. Oh, it's like some people think if you meditate that it's evil. Okay, that's really weird.
Yeah,
right?
we saw an article about that.
We just saw one recently. It's like
meditation is demonic.
It was ridiculous. So when you go out there in this world to try to seek out answers to what you're receiving, you guys, I got news for you. You're going to get opinions. You're not going to get solutions. When you write it in your journal and you see it you see guidance begin to infiltrate your writing, you are getting solutions. When you see it, you know what you're going to get first? Chills. You're going to realize, man, this is like something I haven't experienced maybe ever, all right? I know there's something to this. And then you start to ask yourself those questions. Okay, how do I know? And the questions are, how do I know where I got this guidance? And there's where you date it. Did it come to me when I was walking, driving, in a dream, in the shower, washing my hands from a song, a person that walked up to me, daydreaming, self-talk? Where did it come from? This is just as important as what you wrote down. And then the next questions are, how did it make you feel? What did you realize? And now that you know what it is, you know how you got it, you know how it felt and what you realized, guess what you can do? Take the action, because I got news for you. If you're, and we all get guidance. If you don't take action on the guidance that you got, what good was it? It was nothing more than entertainment. That's a waste. In the beginning, Stacy, in the beginning, as you're writing it down, you're going to see the opportunities pass you by. You're going to see where you got the information and then it happened, but you missed, that opportunity because you didn't take the action because you didn't know what to do. That's normal in the beginning, but it's not normal as you move through it and you begin to see what this is and you begin to evolve with your guides, because that's really what's going on.
Okay, Stacy had a couple interesting comments here.
Yeah.
She had 3 job interviews, and the guides showed her one of them. I got an offer from the one they showed me, from the guides. The one
Right.
the guides showed her. But how do I know that they were saying to pick that one? Well, it's kind of a, take that one. They didn't show me the other 2.
Right. Okay.
So they showed me something, but I don't know what to do with it. That's the first comment.
Okay, let's let her guides talk to her about that one, Ray.
If the other 2 were the right decision, then
We would have.
we wouldn't have shown them to you.
Right. Okay. So what's the
They would have
purpose?
showed her. They would have showed them.
Right,
They would have showed her all 3.
Right.
Here's 3. Pick the one you want.
Okay,
But they didn't do that.
we're not done with their answer.
Right.
Why? What's the purpose in showing her the one?
Make her decision easy.
Okay, come back, Ray. We're not,
She has another comment here.
I know, but I want to
They
finish.
also showed me a certain man I would be talking to romantically, though he turned out to be a jerk. So why would my guides even bother with him?
Here they go.
To show you what not to look for.
Right. Right.
So on one hand, they showed her the
what-
one she should take.
But here's my point. Come back, Ray.
Okay.
Why did you show her this job? Is this job a lesson? That guy was a lesson for you. All right. Don't go there. Watch out when you see this. Here it is again. All right. So is this job, the one that you showed her, a lesson just like the guy was?
No. She will meet an interesting man because of the job.
See, when you think about the job, Stacy, you think, well, the job, I can make money. It's black and white. It's a job, okay? It's never like that. When the guides point you in a certain direction, God, it's filled with these insights about it not being what I thought it was going to be. It turned out to be something a lot more than I thought. Okay, I thought when I got into real estate in my early 20s that it was just about doing the job and experiencing all this and being in real estate. It turned out to be much more than that. The guides, they they see the whole picture, where we in this world, we're just seeing it one way, So it's always more than you think. What you're having a problem with is trusting the guidance, because you're kind of new at actually catching it, writing it down, and then implementing it, interpreting it, all right? And I understand that totally. If you kept journaling about this, it would pop up on the page. You would see the rest of what they are telling you, all right?
People think they choose one job or the other because this one's more money, or
we think about it in a two-dimensional world.
This one has a company car.
It's real basic.
But I'm looking back at my life. I met my first 2 wives because of my job. 2 different jobs, 2 different wives.
There's always more going on than what you think it is.
Right.
You're out there, you're doing this one thing, you're thinking of it, it's always more than you think it is. You can't be afraid of what that more is, though, You just have to write it all down and then realize you're going to learn what the feeling is, and how to interpret that feeling better as you move through it, as you continue to write down the guidance in your journal. You've got to keep doing that. That's the only way you're going to get better at this.
What you're looking for is these little nuggets that repeat themselves, that you can go back and say, well, look at this. This is the 3rd time they told me that same thing. I haven't done anything with it yet. I think maybe it's a prophecy. Maybe it's
a lot of people think that.
Maybe it's something that is going to show up.
I will tell you that a lot of people think that, oh, this is prophetic, that's prophetic, this is prophetic, it has more to do with you than it has to do with some prophecy, all right? Sometimes it is prophetic, because guidance keeps you, it steers you away from a problem, is what it'll do. That could be prophetic. There's going to be a car accident or something like that. It'll tell you to turn right, not left, or something like that, guidance. It happens instantly. You have to learn how to be comfortable with it. You have to learn how to, what you're learning to do, you guys, is you're learning to be in motion with it, in the flow with it, okay? You're learning to be comfortable in having this connection. And even if you don't understand it from this perspective in this world all the time, just be with it. Just let it continue to show itself to you. I'll use an example. When I was married before Ray, one morning, out of nowhere, I think I talked about it and got it, I'm pretty sure I did. Over our heads, we were sleeping, over our heads came like a sonic sound, like a whale or a dolphin. It was something underwater, something aquatic, okay, coming over our heads maybe that far. It was real loud. And my husband woke up and he goes, "What is that? What is that?" I'm going, "Oh my God." I said, I didn't have an opportunity to say, "Shut up," and let me just be in it. And then once that experience is subsided, I will report back to you about what it is. But he reacted, "Whoa, what is it?" And he needs to know, Linda, what is it?" I'm going, "Oh man."
You scared it away.
You just destroyed the whole moment. And I'll never know what it is now, because you just overwhelmed me from this world going, just screwing it all up. Okay. So you've got to become comfortable in that, and I'm going to call it in that surprise. See, he wasn't really used to it. I lived a whole life of it, all right? So I'm thinking, what an idiot. You think he would have learned from me by now. We've been together at that point for about 12 years. When is this guy going to freaking get it, all right? I was real frustrated with that. And that's if you're around somebody who interrupts you all the time or tells you, to keep it to yourself and don't tell anybody about yourself because you're weird or any of that, it's going to be real hard for you to do this. But if you continue your journal writing, if you continue to write down the guidance that's coming through, you can even overcome that. All right.
Okay, Mary says she's been writing in her journal since she came to the event in Phoenix.
Great, Mary.
And has been seeing a lot of cool things. I used to remember my dreams and think about what they meant, but since I've been writing them down, it makes a big difference. Also, a lot more synchronistic events are happening.
Right.
Yeah, the other thing, getting back to Stacy's thing, what these dreams also are doing is they're teaching you how to ask, how to learn to ask. They're not just going to show you things and lay them in front of you all the time. You should ask questions about this. You know, why did you show me that job in the dream?
Ray is talking about when you have to ask something, why, to write those why questions down. It's not always guidance you got, but it's about why something happened. And as you start to write it in here, you're going to see where they start answering you right in the midst of what you're writing. You're going to go, well, that's interesting. It's like you're going to say to yourself, it's like I answered my own question. You'll feel like it came from you.
And in part 2 of the other book, part 2 of the other book, up front, before you start writing in the back, part 2 is, drum roll, hold on. Yep. Drum roll.
Okay.
How to ask.
Right. Right. What's going to happen too, this thing about part two, this is my guided journey. When you start writing in my journal writing, you're going to see patterns start where you start to say, why do I keep doing this? Why do I keep playing the same thing out that you're writing in your journal? Why do I keep thinking this or feeling this? Why do I keep doing it? Seems to be the same thing, like Groundhog Day. Mary. Remember Groundhog Day? I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, part 2 of my journal writing, you need to go into part 2 and ask yourself, what chapter of part 2, chapter 1 through 18, fear is chapter 1, ask is chapter 2, best friends is chapter 3, and it moves on through it. Okay, there's parts where it talks about crossroads, caution, rebellion, the fear returns, and all this. What part of what you're writing in part 3 of my journal writing does it keep repeating itself? Groundhog Day. And identify the chapter in part 2 of my journal writing, and you will see where back there when you were a little kid, where you first learned the wrong things. And that's why you keep making the same decisions. I'm going to say, you can't call them mistakes. They're not mistakes. They're just decisions you made early on that when in this world, the people who were here before you, your parents, society, peers, teachers, whatever, put something in your head that affected you in some way, that shut you down. It limited you. Now, when you try to make that decision, or you're in that situation where you're trying to move through it and be all you can be in that moment, but you can't, it happened back there. That's why my journal writing, part 2, chapter 1 through 18, was created so you guys could find what that is. And there's an associated video with each one of those chapters that you'll read about in the book, where you can find it. To watch that video first before you start writing in part 2 of my guided journey, because it will get you in the right mindset. It will empower you instead of making you feel, ooh, that hurt and I'm scared. And it will take the victim out of out of the perception of what happened. Now that you're older, you can see what happened. Instead of becoming that helpless, fearful child that's stuck in it. You can't help anyone by going where they're at, including yourself. If you go back to that victim role, you have no power.
Okay, Stacy, this is directed at you and a lot of other people who just write in a journal. They don't have the book.
Right.
And they write in a journal.
It's a big disadvantage not to have these.
Right here. Why should you have this book and the 18 chapters and the 18 videos that Linda and I did?
It's intense.
It says these books give you a second chance to get it right in this lifetime. It connects you with who you are, what you've been missing, why you are here, and your guides. That is My Guided Journey, part 2 of the 3-part guided journal writing system. And you can write in a spiral notebook or a journal or whatever. You can write for the rest of your life, but you may not ever figure out how it ties back to when you were a child.
Yeah, and that's really the whole. See, the whole point is, you guys, until you really heal what's hanging you up, can you really be fluid moving forward?
Right.
Okay, and that's the whole point to this whole system. All right, listening to guided or reading guided first is real important because it sets the groundwork for what this is and what's possible when you take your journey. Okay, and you can, just so you know, you can get these books on my website as a download at $9.95. Okay, and you print it out. You can print the book out as many times as you want. Once you have the download, you can do this as many times as you need to do it.
And that's $5 cheaper than you could buy it on Amazon because you got to pay shipping charges. And
you can keep it going. You can write, print the journal writing pages out as many times as you want. You don't need to buy them again. So we made it so reasonable, easy. To really, for any of you. There's no reason for you not to have these, whether you have the book or you have the download. Okay, again, Deir.com. Go to shop. It's at the top. It's the nav bar, one of the nav bars, shop, and go down to books and MP3s. You're going to see these 2 books, My Guided Journey and My Journal Writing downloads. Get them. Get them like that.
And once you get this book, you have access to the videos and the MP3s.
Everything.
And
every single thing. It's like being handicapped without having these books because it has all the little details that really get you through it. Okay.
And the videos are like having Linda and I hold your hand.
Yeah, that's why it's called. I want you guys to know that's why it's called My Guided Journey. This isn't my journey. We guide you through it, and my journal writing is it's where you are right now, and that it's guided. It's all about being guided, you guys. Everybody needs that guidance to work through it, to identify what it is, and to know what applies to you and the timing that's perfect. It's always there. Okay,
I see thumbs up. I look bubbles coming up. Thumbs up.
You guys, yeah.
I see Mary laughing. She got a little laughing emoji there. No more questions.
And Mary, sign up for our weekend event, October 5th. You can sign up for it, lindadeir.com, and click on live events, and you'll see the one we're doing this weekend. And what it's going to do when you guys sign up for this, $9.95. It's cheap. You sign up for this. You're going to see what other people are doing. You're going to see the curriculum. You're going to see us walk people through it step by step. Watch them, and Mary knows because she was there last month.
Yeah, you don't have to drive all the way from Michigan or fly in again.
Every time that you join us and you experience this, the better you make the connection, the better you're equipped to trust yourself.
Mary says, yes, I will be there.
Yeah, sign up for it, because if you don't sign up before it starts, like Ray said, you won't be able to get it. It's just the way the system works, all right?
I know.
All right.
Nobody else. Small crowd. But
small crowd, but awesome crowd.
Awesome crowd.
Okay, they come back and they watch it on replay a lot of times because I mean, we have 200 or 300 people who watch these on replay because they're driving home from work or something like that.
They're watching TV.
Okay, they're not. Our people don't sit down and watch TV, right? That's not who they are. Okay, so we're going to talk about, again, mark your calendars. Don't wait until the day of to register for Saturday's live event on October 5th. Ray and I will be live on location in Phoenix, Arizona at Storm Wisdom from 1 to 3 p.m. Pacific time. In this event, you will experience the proven Spirit Guide communication system with Linda Deir, Ray Hawley, and those who attend on location. It's free to those who attend on location in Phoenix, Arizona. However, you can also attend this event live via live streaming and watch it on demand for 30 days after it's over for just $9.95. So register early because seating is limited for the online. To watch the video trailer and register for this event, look for the link in this description of the video, and Ray has it placed right there.
Mm-hmm.
So next Tuesday, and before we close this tonight with the closing message from the Spirit Guides about tonight's session, we're going to just have one more announcement. Next Tuesday, October 8th, join me right here on my Facebook page, Linda Deir Author. This will be a Q&A and commentary, just like tonight, with me and my Spirit Guides at 6 p.m. Pacific time, so don't miss it. In Linda's weekly guided insights, my Spirit Guides will be talking about the unusual and out of the ordinary occurrences. This ties right into your journal writing and guidance. What happens when something unusual or out of the ordinary happens in your life? What do you do when that happens? Do you even take notice? A lot of people just let it blow over and they go, deja vu. I kind of remember something. I kind of do, but maybe it wasn't important or it doesn't really matter, and off they go, living the distracted life that they've been programmed to live. Or do you ignore it as some type of anomaly that occurred that you doubt will ever happen again? We will tell you that these unusual and out of the ordinary occurrences are more important than the normal recurring occurrences that happen in your life all the time. So what you predict and what the Groundhog Day, Mary, the normal everyday stuff, that's not nearly as important as these unusual and out of the ordinaries, okay? So join us next Tuesday to find out how this works, all right? And bring your questions.
That's going to be a good one.
That is. So we're going to close this session tonight about when guidance shows up in your journal writing. And then after that, we're going to talk about this Thursday. Okay. Remember to always breathe, you guys. Even when you start your journal writing, release the tension in your upper body and breathe.
Nothing that happens in your life is insignificant. Everything has meaning. Learning not to miss these occurrences or write them off as just a one-time thing is not the way you learn. You learn by documenting each and every one of them and how it made you feel, how it affected you right now in the moment, and what you realized from it. Whether or not you take action right away is up to you, but if these out of the ordinary occurrences happen again, you should pick up on the importance of the occurrence. Now, your guides are telling you to take action and follow through on that action. It's best to start right then, as soon as the occurrence happens and you think about how it made you feel and what you realized from it, that you take some small action toward following it.
And then document that too.
Right, what you did. Document what you did. This will help you not only to connect the dots in your life, but you will have more and more pleasant experiences as a result.
Okay, when you do your journal writing, before you take the journey in part 2, when you do your journal writing, this book is called My Journal Writing, Part 3, Your Roadmap to Consciousness. You know, that's the whole problem. See? Your roadmap to consciousness. The whole problem is people are going through life unconscious. They're moving too fast. They're trying to reason this whole thing to death, all right? When you catch yourself doing that, when you go, well, when Stacy was talking about, well, I met this guy and he was a creep, but my guide picked him. Why in the heck did they pick him? Instead of getting angry about it, instead of getting, frustrated with this, in the beginning, this process could frustrate you. It doesn't frustrate everybody, but it can frustrate some people. Remember that you are the one that's in the way, that you are the one that's the problem, okay? You're not going to know it until you write it down. See that? And then when you become conscious, when you become okay with whatever it is, and breathe and quit looking for results now. I want the exact answer. I want to know what to do, when to do it, how much money I'm going to make, the perfect partner that will be with me forever, never let me down, never disappoint me. There's no such thing, you guys. This is an imperfect world, okay? It's a process. We come here to learn. This is not perfect. So quit looking for perfection. Quit looking for instant results. Eventually, when you keep doing the journal writing, eventually the results will come through much faster. They come through right away for me. Boom, boom, boom. But you know why I'm able to do it? Because when they show me things and they tell me things that maybe I don't want to hear, I don't want to hear that. I accept it. I go, okay, I get that. I actually can feel that. Okay, I have a ways to go while I'm working through this. My spirit guides have my back. They always have my back. But I've got to be able to accept what is.
Yeah, if you get a bit of guidance that you don't want to hear,
right?
There's a reason why you don't want to hear it, and that's why they sent it.
19 years old. My guides come through and they tell me, Linda, your marriage isn't going to work. 19 years old. I mean, what? My marriage isn't going to work? Oh my God.
I don't want to hear that.
It took me about 5 minutes to get my head around it because of my training from the time I was a baby with these guides. And I said, okay, whoa, okay, my marriage isn't going to work. All right, I will never tell anybody. God, I couldn't tell anybody. They would blame me for it. That's the world we live in. It doesn't make any sense, you guys.
So the next question to your guys would be, if my marriage is not going to work out, what would you like me to do?
I didn't ask him that. I never had to ask. Here's the key. You would think that what Ray just said is the way you need to do this. It's wrong. What I needed to do is fully accept the news they just gave me about your marriage isn't going to work. Okay. Oh my God, my marriage isn't going to work. Oh my God. And then About 5 minutes, 10 minutes into it, I said, okay, my marriage isn't going to work. All right, it's not going to work. As soon as I accepted what is, they gave me the rest of it. You see how this works? Get out of your way.
I would say that most people's troubles in their life, their stress, their struggles that they go through are all because of that one thing, their inability to accept what is.
It's true. It's really true. So that's what you need to look at. That's what you need to get okay with. That's what you need to, it's learning how to have this relationship with your guides. Your guides come from here. You live in this world, okay? It's about coming together and making this connection and smoothing it out, all right? They're never here to hurt you guys. They're here to help you every step of the way. They're here to help you. But you've got to be able to accept what is when they tell it to you. Go ahead.
Okay, everybody, one more announcement. Everybody who watches this, you're on the replay, be sure to be here next week because Mary says I have a good one to share next week.
Oh, Mary.
Oh, there's a cliffhanger.
You know what, Mary?
I never heard one.
Mary, you know something? I wanted to get more in depth with you tonight, and I'm so glad you brought that up. I'm looking forward to it next week.
Oh, and then she says, you two are awesome. Thank you for all that you do.
Thank you, Mary. Yeah.
I've been telling you that for 15 years, how awesome you are.
No. She said you guys.
Oh, you guys are awesome.
Yeah, and the guides too.
You're awesome too. You should tell yourself every day how awesome you are, and the way you remind yourself of that is every time you look in the mirror, smile back at yourself. That's what I do.
You do, Ray?
I do.
You do your mirror work.
Do my mirror work.
Whatever works, you guys, okay? But keep the journaling going. The journaling is going to purge the truth out of you. It's going to purge the guidance that needs and been trying to reach you to make your life easier, to take the struggle away. All right? Okay. All right. So next week, we'll see you guys on Tuesday, and we will see you guys on Saturday.
If you're a member of the group, did you say anything about
the group? Oh my gosh.
If you're a member of the Ask the Universal Channel group.
Yes, okay, yes. Ray, thank you for not letting me miss this. Okay, this Thursday, October 3rd at 6 p.m. Pacific time, join us on our Facebook secret group.
Okay.
Okay, the name of the group is Ask the Universal Channel. Okay, that's what this is. And the students of Ask the Universal Channel will be performing the following. Veronica's guides will explain why it's optimal to look inside yourself, to communicate with your real home, where you came from. When this one, the world you're in now, seems to distract your focus. Okay. Kathy's spirit guides will talk about keeping records of all your experiences. These guides are using this in this group they're using it they talk to their guides and they share with that, and then they bring the journal out and they interface it with the journal. It's really good how they bring this together. And by the way, that's how we're going to be doing this on Saturday. We interface the guided journal writing system with Ask the Universal Channel so you can talk to your guides, okay? And Joy's spirit guides will discuss when you remember an event as though it just happened, but you have no recollection of it actually happening, like deja vu. That's interesting. Now, by the way, I want you guys to know, Veronica, Kathy, and Joy in this Ask the Universal Channel secret group, they don't just come up with these ideas every other Thursday. We do these on Ask the Universal Channel. They channel their spirit guides to ask their guides what the guides want to talk to you about. They don't decide. They let the guides decide. Okay, so that's what's so cool about this. And this event will be hosted by Linda Deir, myself, and Ray Holly. So look for the instructions on how to join the secret Facebook group in the description of this video. And that'll be this Thursday. So we've got this Thursday, We've got this coming Saturday live on location.
And next Tuesday is Mary's big surprise.
Mary, we can't wait.
Yep.
I love it. I love it. Okay, you guys. Have a good night.
Good night, everybody.